Good morning, dear professor. My name is Jian Ping. My topic is elderly employment used for those over 65. Agenda: Introduction, research background, research questions and objectives, literature review, gaps identified, theoretical and conceptual framework, research methodology, question and answer. Abstract: In this age of young children, the shortage of labor is a foreseeable problem. After retirement, the elderly still have rich contacts and skills, not only not used but also a burden to the company, and will be considered just enjoying the benefits of the company. Therefore, this study shows how to use the great potential human resources after clarifying the real wishes of the retired people. According to the result of the survey, make their own suggestions for enterprises who can use the elderly after retirement. Introduction: Elderly generally refers to a year's life cycle, which biologically refers to the age of life expectancy close to the current era. Specific age groups for old age have not been identified since the definitions of old age vary slightly around the world. Different cultural circles have different definitions of old people. Since the life cycle is a gradual process, the dividing line between old and old age is often blurred. Some believe that being a grandfather and grandmother is entering old age, while some believe that retirement is a sign of old age. The World Health Organization and some developed countries define the people as over 60. In ancient China, 50 people were used as a division. Japan is a representative country of the world at an age of 65 years old. The study will investigated, studied, and illustrated by people over 55 years. Research background: Given future process in aging, it seems necessary to promote employment over the 65s. First, there are quite a few people who want to work in that age group. Second, when all the baby boomers reach 65 in a few years and continue employment, so it can be predicted that the vocational skill these people have development over the years will not be useful. And so, what do we need to do to promote the work of the elderly? So, according to the above information, a country like China, which is about to enter an aging society, will face the same problem as Japan. It is noted here that making the work is active, elastic, and active. In other words, by doing so, the whole life of advanced age becomes vibrant. Research objectives, questions, or both. First, to confirm the employment status of the elderly in recent years, and to sort out the discussion on the employment of the elderly. Second, according to the result of survey of author or recent enterprises, what kind of elderly people are working at present. Thirdly, the analysis results of the living strength of the elderly employees are introduced from the different survey results that the author is concerned about. Fourth, explore the conditions that will make the work of the elderly more dynamic and flexible. Research question. What is the employment situation of the elderly people? What are the factors that affect the employment of the elderly? How is the elderly's own willingness to work? What are the unique advantages of the elderly in the workplace? What measures can promote employment for the people? The review of studies undertaken. This is my theoretical and conceptual framework, and this is a research methodology. Population. The preliminary survey divided the subjects screened into 3 categories: general sample, retirement age sample, and retirement age re-employment sample. And sampling. In the initial survey, employees aged 65 were screened for full-time employees. On the other hand, for those who are eligible for retirement, sampling criteria. In addition to the general classification, samples of the retirement age system classification and the retirement age reemployment classification were taken. Analysis. Instrument. A survey conducted through network survey and WeChat questionnaire. Validity. Reliability. The order of questions for each respondent was randomly displayed on the WEB survey screen. Plans for data analysis. In the data analysis, Python and Excel were used to organize and analyze the big data. Ethical consideration. Hypothesis summary. If the enterprise can make full use of the elderly in workplace, then it will bring the following vitality to the enterprise. If old employees are active enough in workplace, they can motivate other employees. Elderly employees are experienced to treasure house talented. If older employees can work in the company, it means that the working environment of the company is a healthy and safe workplace. An enterprise that can flexibly use its elderly employees can be regarded as a good enterprise with social responsibility. Discussion. The findings of above survey show that seniors attach great importance to their job content and working hours. Therefore, for retired senior citizens, the following many elements will stimulate their willingness to be employed. The first one is to focus on the physical function of the retired senior. The contribution, the employment and active use of elderly people are of great significance to the development of enterprises and the process of society. This study examined the willingness of the elderly to work and the role of the elderly in the workplace. To understand that the younger the average age of employees, the better. This paper studies how to contribute to the development of enterprises through the flexible and dynamic elderly employment system. Limitation. First, China's social form is different from that of Japan. Second, most of the first studies in this are viewed by Japanese scholars on the active use of elderly. Third, there are about 300 valid questionnaires in this study, in which distribution of the regions and the age distribution of the respondents were uneven. These are the part of references. Thank you, teacher. That's all.